players, who would have thunk it? We have more bullshit coming from the Supreme Court. Y'all go ahead and grab your tea and have a seat. Let's talk about frumpy dump appointed Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch and his bullshit. Over the last few weeks, ProPublica has been doing the law's work exposing Justice Clarence Thomas. We learned that Clarence Thomas has been receiving over the decades lavish travel from a billionaire real estate mogul for him and his wife Jenny. And we also learned that that same real estate mogul bought Clarence Thomas's mother's house and actually let her stay in it. In fact, she's still living in that motherfucker. And now we learned that conservative Supreme Court justices definitely flocked together, honey. Hell, for all we know, Neil was the one that gave Clarence Thomas the advice to not report that his ass was receiving those lavish gifts. So according to reports, for 2 years before he was the Supreme Court justice, Neil Gorsuch was looking for a buyer for a 40-acre tract of property he co-owned in Granby, Colorado. Now, the property was initially on the market for over $2 million. And like I said, it had been on the market for 2 years, so they had lowered the price quite a bit. And they still couldn't find a buyer, at least until 9 days after Neil Gorsuch was confirmed by the Senate for a lifetime appointment on the Supreme Court. One of the nation's biggest law firms with a robust practice before the High Court bought the property from Gorsuch and 2 other individuals. Brian Duffy, who was the chief executive at the law firm, purchased the property from Gorsuch and 2 other people for $1.825 million. And Neil Gorsuch held a 20% stake in the property, making between $250,000 to $500,000 from the sale on his federal disclosure forms. But he did not disclose the identity of the purchaser. That box was left blank. Since then, that same law firm has been involved in at least 22 cases before or presented to the court. And at least 12 of those cases, Neil Gorsuch's opinion is recorded. He sided with Greenberg. Now, the chief executive at that law firm says he's never spoken with Justice Gorsuch. He said he's never even met him. And once he learned that Gorsuch was among the owners of the property that he purchased, he actually cleared the sale with his firm's ethics department. I declare, honey, what a disgrace. Now, such a sale would raise ethical problems for officials serving in many other branches of the government, but the Supreme Court sets its own rules. And those rules do not prevent justices from engaging in financial transactions with people with interest before the court. Of course, they've reached out to the Supreme Court and Justice Gorsuch for a comment. We have not heard back. Players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mobile for the Black Accurate News.